The season for a lot of sneezing and wheezing as colds and flu creep into schools, the workplace, and our homes. Can you reduce your risk for getting sick? And how do you keep illness away from your kids when they spend their days at school with dozens of other little incubators of illness? I did not write that. Joining us now is Dr. Janet Tornelli-Mitchell, an internal medicine specialist who has also been the personal doctor of former First Lady Laura Bush. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
We were talking during the break. You make some very good points about, cold, flu, some of the problems and some of the things that make us more susceptible to it. And they go beyond the typical things that we hear about, covering your mouth, washing your hands, and all that type of thing. Can we go through those? And we're going to have some graphics that we're going to show.
Sure, absolutely.
We'll go through what you brought in
here.
Well, you know,
very quickly, there are three main points that I try to tell parents that they can really focus on to keep their kids from getting sick. And of course, we all know that if we keep our kids from getting sick, then it keeps us from getting sick as well, too. So a lot of people don't realize that nutritional deficiencies can actually weaken our immune system and make us more susceptible to colds and flus and things like that. So when people talk about you are what you eat, that is so very true, especially when it comes to your immune system. So foods like I brought today are foods that are able to help feed your immune system.
So this will help build us up, and it will help prevent us from getting sick.
It definitely can.
Okay.
And even if it doesn't prevent you from getting sick, it certainly can alleviate the symptoms, shorten the duration, and shorten the severity. And, of course, I talk about all these wonderful foods, but I don't know about you. I can't get my kids to eat beets and cabbage all the time.
No.
So one of my favorite supplements is this supplement Xigo right here, because in one supplement, it combines a lot of the same nutrients that I brought in single containers or in multiple foods. And in fact, my son, who came in sick the other day, I gave him that supplement, and I was able to really alleviate his symptoms and shorten the duration.
So these are good for adults and children?
Absolutely. It's good for all of us.
Okay.
The other point that I always like to stress is, I tell parents, when your kids are stressed, that also weakens their immune system. And people always say, stress in children, how does that happen? Well, just like adults, we're overscheduled, and our kids get overscheduled as a consequence. That causes stress that depletes a lot of these nutrients. Not sleeping enough. Kids need at least 9 to 10 hours of sleep every night to stay healthy. So focus on not overscheduling and sleep. And then the last point that I always make is, we live in a wonderful world of technology where we're all sharing and passing our technology. But when I touch an iPhone and then I pass it on to you or to my child, or my child is passing it on to their friends, we're passing all those same bugs.
So in school, a lot of schools, they have these touch screens now that they
Absolutely.
use. Same thing.
So what I do for my kids is I put in their backpack little packs of handy wipes or hand sanitizers, the travel size, and really, really encourage my kids, hey, don't pass your phones. If you do need to share, if you're in computer lab, use the hand sanitizer products afterwards and keep your hands away from your mouth.
I want to ask you a question because I've never been sure of this. We all get colds. When you take medicines, like over-the-counter medicines, do they help you get better, or do they just alleviate the symptoms for a period of time?
That's a perfect question. It only helps to alleviate your symptoms.
Okay.
In many cases, when you're talking about viral illnesses, colds, flus, it really has to run its course. But medicines that you normally see, like antihistamines, decongestants, they'll treat your symptoms so that you don't have that runny nose, that coughing, that congestion, but they don't really cure the illness.
All right, very good. And we're looking at some of the symptoms for flu. One of the things that we, like here in our workplace, it seems like we all just make each other sick constantly. What is the incubation period? How long are you contagious, for example, with the flu?
Once you're exposed to a virus, you can be contagious even up to after a week. So, the best thing is that if you feel ill and if you feel that you have some of these symptoms, you really need to stay home. Now, we're all sort of type A personalities. We're driven. We want to come to work. But many times that's the worst thing that we can do because we expose others. So ideally, you really need to stay home.
All right, there you go. We may need you to write some notes for us.
Be glad to, Tony.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank
we do
you.
appreciate it. And there's all your information. We're going to have all of this information on our website at myfoxdc.com. You can check there as well.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you.
Allison.